A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. A-type goal is something where like you already know how to do it, right? Like you've done it before, you already know how to do it. And a good example of this is um, when people are looking at achieving goals, right? Like they're learning how to align their paradigm and their subconscious with achieving a specific goal. Sometimes they'll set goals that are A-type goals where they already know how to do it. It's like you don't have to align your mind to something you already know how to do, right? So a good example of this is when you go up and ask someone, "Hey, what do you want?" And they're like, "I want a new car," right? And you're like, "Okay, have you ever bought a car before?" And they're like, "Well, of course, I got this old piece of shit beater over here." And you're like, "Okay, well, you know how to buy a car," right? Like that's not a hard type goal, right? You just gotta like, have enough money to, yeah, buy, whatever kind of car you want to get, right? Like, you know how to get there, you know how to do that, right? Like, and then a B type goal is a goal where you have a general idea of how to do that. And so when uh, AJ's talking about having a clear vision with well-defined milestones, that's where like you have a general idea of how to get there, but you've never really done it before. So you kind of know what milestones you need to hit to get there, right? So that's more of like a B type goal. A C type goal is a goal that is so big and you've never achieved it and you have no fucking clue how you'll even get there, right? Well, how do you get there? And how do you set up milestones for a goal like that if you don't even know how to even start or how to get there, right? Like let's say you want to be a multimillionaire, right? How do you get there? I've never done that before. I've never, owned businesses. I've never started my own business. I don't know what to do, right? Well, those are the best type of goals. Those are my favorites, right? Because you don't need to know. You don't need to know how to get there, right? You just have to believe you'll get there. And then you have to really get your mind in alignment with the goal itself, and a way will be shown to you. It's like magic. It's like magic, but you'll just start, focusing on that every day, and we tend to get what we focus on in life. It's amazing. It's almost like magic. Breaking large goals into smaller attainable steps helps maintain momentum. Right now, the thing about C-type goals, and like when you have a large goal like that, you don't know how to get there. The cool thing is, when I say a way will be shown to you, is the way will be shown to you in the form of you just get these random ideas, right? Once your subconscious mind is in alignment with a goal, it's like a supercomputer. It just grinds away trying to figure out how to make it happen. How do I make this happen? That's why like you'll be in the shower and you'll get these epiphanies, right? Or you'll be driving in the car just zoned out and you'll get these epiphanies, right? Or like when I usually get epiphanies, it's usually when I'm out running. Like I'll be out running, listening to an audiobook, and my mind will wander. That's why you have to read books multiple times, because your mind wanders, right? Well, my mind will wander and it problem solves. Like if I have a problem at work, if I have hey, how do I make my thumbnails better? Like I just get these ideas and like they come to me at random times. It's like I didn't know how to do it before, but then I'm like, oh, right? Like, oh, maybe I should research this. Maybe I should look into, is there something that will help me in this area, right? So that will give you little ideas on what to do, which will allow you to break the larger goals into smaller attainable steps, right? And then once you start getting those ideas, you got to jump on those. You got to act on them, right? Aligning personal goals with core values enhances intrinsic motivation, right? If you're doing something because you genuinely value something, like one thing that, one of the reasons why I love this podcast, right? The reason why, like, I will do this podcast for free, and I often do, because you guys don't send super chats enough. I was talking to Glenn Lawrence last night, and we were talking about his YouTube channel, and how he was doing these like 24-hour live streams and all this kind of stuff. And he was telling me how much he was making on YouTube. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, are those all from super chats? And he's like, yeah, that's all super chat money. I was like, I need to figure out how to get my lazy ass audience to send more super chats. Cause I'm like, I'm not making that much on the Amazon, man, or not the Amazon, but but YouTube. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, values. So one of my values is one, I love relationships. I love healthy relationships. I love talking about this stuff. I love helping guys. Man, one of the biggest rewards is when I hear guys like DM me, right? They've been listening to the podcast for years, or they follow like my TikToks and whatever, and they're like, man, your videos have like changed my marriage, right? Your videos have like helped me with dating. Like your videos have done, like, that is a value of mine. Like, it's really what I want to do. Like, I'm passionate about helping men, right? Helping men figure this shit out and avoid the mistakes that I made, in the past, right? That's a value of mine. And so because I'm so passionate about it, having goals and working towards those goals makes things easy, right? It's effortless. It's not like work for me, right? All right. The role of resilience. And that's why I can joke about not getting enough super chats. Because I'm still going to do the show, even if you bastards are being cheap. Okay. Like, I'm still going to do the show. Like, it's still going to come out. All right. The role of resilience in overcoming obstacles. Resilience transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. And then emotionally durable individuals don't view setbacks as failures, but as learning experiences, which is something that I try to teach in my book. AJ's clearly trying to teach it in his book. That's a growth mindset type thing, right? When you look at a setback or a failure, not as a failure, but as a learning opportunity, right? Like, I'm learning what not to do. Okay. Well, that will help you push through some of these setbacks if you change your mindset about certain things, instead of looking at everything like, oh, the world's fucking ending, right? Like, look at it like, oh, okay, well, I guess we won't do it that way. Right. All right, guys. Hey, get in Beer Club. We just had our meetup last night. Good group of guys. The real values in the Telegram community. Very active Telegram community in there. Lately, we've had one of our brothers has just been like knocking it out of the park with dating. Now he's got himself an exclusive girlfriend. That's a fun experience to watch, because we watched him go through the whole dating circuit and flounder around and like swap notes about that. And now he's trying to, this girl wanted to lock him down. And so that's just it's a fun thing to watch. And when you watch it enough, it's like fucking clockwork, right? When guys when it clicks with them, the dating experience clicks with them. They learn how to have an abundance mindset with women. They don't get hung up on one woman at a time, although this guy's still needs to work on that. But they learn how to spin plates, right? They learn how to spin plates and just keep pushing forward, and then wait until women lock them down. You find that the cream rises to the top, and the women like will try to lock you down by the 7th or 8th date on average, right? And it's like clockwork. It's like you see it like play out so many times. It's like, it's not even like some people think that love is this mysterious, random, mystical thing. It's fucking not. It's like a science, and you can like predict things, right, based on human nature. And but if she likes you, she's going to start wanting to see you more and more, right? And then by the 7th or 8th date on average, she's going to be like, I want to be exclusive, And if you want to be exclusive, awesome. If you don't, well, now it's time to be okay with letting her go, right? Because you got to put the ball in her court and say, well, I kind of like the way things are, right? And then you got to be okay with her not being okay with that and walking away. A lot of guys can't mentally do that because they're like, oh, I don't want to lose her though, right? So then they get into relationships that they should never be in the first fucking place. Anyway, you see it play out all the time. It's like I said, like clockwork. It's funny to watch. Anyway, guys are doing that in Beer Club. Guys are getting in shape in Beer Club. Guys are, swapping memes in there. It's just a great place to go. There's some guys in there that they're on like TRT. And so we swap notes about, TRT treatments and boosting testosterone levels and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a free for all of value where guys just get together and talk about guy shit, right? Check that out. And then, guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, maybe your relationship has not been the way it should be. You've been married, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years. The spark is completely gone. When your wife puts out, if she puts out, she lays there like a starfish. and you think that's normal, right? But deep down, you know it's not. Okay. Let's turn that around. All right. If that's you and you're getting really frustrated by things and you're even thinking like, hey, I think I might want to divorce her, just know that if you don't work on what got you there in the first place, where she doesn't want to fuck you anymore, that's going to happen in your next relationship if you don't start working on this stuff now. Okay. So if that's you, let's try to turn that around. Let's try to turn that around so you don't have to start from zero and then repeat the whole process and get there again in another 10, 15 years. All right. Let's fix it now. Go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com and book a free call with me. Okay. All right. Oh, do like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I clicked the wrong thing, but do that anyway. If you haven't. Smashing like is alpha. Stream elements. That's true. That is very true. Stream elements. Oh shit. Ryan Stone. That son of a bitch. Oh man. Look at this guy. It does. Look at this. $5 Canadian for the mug. Thanks, man. Yes. Coffee does taste better in this mug. Everybody needs to go get a Ryan Stone mug while you're at it. Oh, and then get his book, Dog Walker. That is getting rave reviews, I hear. I have yet to read it yet. I'm still going through that bastard Aaron Clary's book, Zero World Problems. And like so far, I found 4 things I fucking hate about Aaron Clary's new book. So I'm going to do a special live stream on 5 things I hate about Aaron's book. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a special unannounced live stream. And then Ryan, I'm going to give you this one. Here we go.
I'm just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Yeah, he definitely fucks. Good seeing you, Ryan. All right, where are we at here? Oh yeah, we talked about beer. Okay. Maintaining focus amid distractions. I have a hard time with this. I am a procrastinator. If there's something I do not want to do, I'm like, can I push this off? I put everything, I live and die by a calendar, right? I have like an Outlook calendar. It syncs with my phone to my computer. So I know what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis, and tasks that I need to do, I'll put it on the calendar. So I know it needs to be done. But if there's a task I just don't fucking want to do, like some kind of spreadsheet bullshit nonsense, I'm like, does that have to be done today? And I'll move it to the next day, right? I'm like, oh, what's my schedule look like on Thursday? Let me put it over there, right? I will eventually get it done. You know, it's usually like a deadline thing where I'm like, fuck, we're at the deadline. I got to do this now. But it's really easy for me to like postpone stuff like that and then get distracted by other shit, right? Like get distracted by, social media. Social media is such a time suck, man, especially when you are, you're a podcaster and you're posting social media shit out there and you want to reply to people's comments and stay engaged with the audience. That can take up a whole fucking day of just doing that sometimes, because sometimes people will, like right now, I'm going to be hosting Rule Zero on Saturday. We're going to be talking about like Taylor Swift, just because she's an easy target. Anyway, I posted a video on Instagram that's got like almost 300,000 views now. And it just says that Taylor Swift has 600 songs about men leaving her and 0 songs about blowjobs, right? Well, there's just comments galore because it's going viral, right? So it's like, I can't keep up with all those comments, but it's easy to get distracted with that kind of stuff. AJ talks about avoiding instant gratification because it ensures long-term commitment to meaningful goals. All right, we talked about that a little bit. Reducing exposure to distractions like social media or negative influences enhances clarity. The social media is hard, but I've cut out a lot of negative influences like years ago. The fucking news is toxic as shit, right? Like you don't need it. And we were talking about this in Beer Club actually, because I was saying like the news is nothing but propaganda and fear mongering. Like just cut it out of your life. There's nothing good comes out of the news. And one of the guys was saying how there was a study done talking about how the way the news works is they want to tell stories to keep you in a perpetual state of like anger and fear, because the anger and fear keeps you coming back, right? So they'll go to a commercial break with something that like it sounds really scary. And then when you go to commercial break, you're like, oh crap, what happened? Like how many people died in that accident, right? But the news only tends to report bad news to keep people thinking about like all this kind of crap is bad in the world and stuff. And there are bad things happening in the world. Like let's be real. But how much of that bad shit in the world impacts your day to day? Probably 0% of it, right? Like when I cut out news, man, so much happier. So much happier. And it's not a distraction anymore. I'm not always trying to keep up like, well, what's this politician saying today? Like, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't care. So that's a big distraction. A lot of people spend their whole lives just, watching politics like football. Football's another fucking distraction. A step pro wrestling's not though. Okay, that's a real sport. All right, that's a real sport. Let's just put that out there.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.